Hey there, this is a quick tutorial on how to read the prep camp schedule. It's a question we get sometimes from athletes and families. How do I read this schedule? We will try to keep that as simple as possible for you. Under the Programs tab, we have the training schedule, which is tentatively set for 2023. If we just scroll down, let's start with week 1, for example. What you're going to see is a web version of our Google spreadsheet. Across the top are a few different tabs. Let's start first with the ones that you don't really need to worry about unless you want to check out who is coming, who our guest coaches are. This is just our schedule for our fitness team, for our on ice coaches. The main one that you need to look at is the master schedule. It's pretty straightforward once you dive in, but there's just a couple of things that you might need to know. So here's, for example, the U13 group. It's really straightforward. Uh, Dressing room assignments, where to sign in, where to go for fitness and skills. Dorming players with our room and board could take a break back on their bunk. That might be their lunch hour or their dinner hour if it says break or refuel. If it's in between meal times, we have snacks available for them. Uh, for our day campers, this would be their last activity of the day with their dressing room assignments here. When it says activities for dorming players, this is where it can get a little bit confusing. Outside of this training schedule, we want other things for the kids to do. So let's say, for example, you are dorming and you're in the U13 group. Somewhere between 4 and 6:30, we want to have something for you from Monday to Thursday. Of course, on Friday, it is simply check out and head home after your 2 o'clock to 3:15 ice time is complete. So what is my activity for dorming players? You would check out the additional activities for dorming players. On Monday, for example, we have planned that somewhere in this window, at actually exactly 4 to 5 o'clock, they're going to have a mental toughness seminar with Megan upstairs in the rink. You'll notice that the U13 group that's their window of time we want to fill for them, and it can vary a little bit. And so there will be further instructions from the residence hall directors while they're there to get exactly where they need to go and by when. But for the day campers, it is pretty straightforward. If you're interested in who the coaches are going to be on the ice, of course, you could look at the on ice schedule, but the one that groups follow is the master schedule. I hope you find that useful. This is always a work in progress. And so we try to state our last edit. So if you're looking at it today, September 20th, you can bet there might be some small changes. For example, sometimes we don't get the perfect number for every single group, and maybe we need to combine groups. And so the group names are going to change slightly. We do that as little as possible. We try to set things in stone, but obviously our enrollment numbers dictate where and what we have going. The varsity groups, well, what group am I in? We are going to, for 2023, send those out in advance as early as possible. Let's call it late spring, early summer, so that you know, hey, I'm in a group that actually doesn't start until noon. I might be able to come into Port Alberni on Monday morning versus maybe this time would be tight for you to get all the way from Victoria or something. So if you're in the varsity group, which is players playing at a high performance level in our older ages, maybe even playing college, that would be your group. So that is our quick tutorial. Um, Players always figure it out. Sometimes there's some uncertainty going in, but everybody settles in quite quickly. We often ask, why do you use that military time? We actually prefer to call it international time. The game of hockey has taken many of us all around the world, and we often have participants coming from other countries. And it's simply fun. It's part of our international flair. And if you can't read it, my 9-year-old learned it this summer because he asked me the same thing. It's just a fun exercise where your kids can get used to it. They can figure it out, and they will figure it out. And so that is your first challenge in the international nature of our camp, is to be able to read our 24-hour clocks. Thanks for checking this out, and see you at camp. If you have not yet registered, please apply prepcamp.com/apply.